It's been an interesting period as COVID has hit longer and affected more people in various ways. And as I've been suggesting for some time, areas of anger and distress and disorientation and alienation have been increasing in our community and becoming increasingly apparent as a concern. So it's not just businesses and workers losing their income and their livelihood, although of course that has a huge impact, which we're very concerned about. It's also about people losing their links with their family and friends. It's about loneliness. There's been more violence, although most of it has actually been happening in people's homes. And that's where a lot of the police resources have had to go that have not been apparent in the streets of our town centres, where the stress has also been apparent. So board members have been involved in advocating and listening about those issues, doing what they can to ensure that people are fed and secure, that their protection from the virus is enhanced. And we just hope and are working to try and ensure that as this occurs, that these worst elements of these changes don't become permanent feature of our community, as this level of division and anger has become entrenched in places like the United States. There has been obviously continuing opposition to the decision of the Ministry of Cultural Heritage to put a memorial to the Erebus tragedy in one of our parks, in Dubbar Robinson Park. And we made a majority decision that landowner consent should be given. And because it's in one of our parks, we retain a continuing interest in that. Early this morning, the Ministry of Culture and Heritage put fences around the site, and if the Ombudsman's report says that the consultation and advice was adequate and appropriate, they would intend to put the memorial on the site. I was approached by opponents of the site early in the morning, saying that action was contrary to the landowner consent conditions. But from inquiries, I'm almost certain that it is not. We didn't put particular conditions on what could happen on the site at night beyond the usual noise control and other controls that apply to work and other sites throughout the city. So I think the Ministry of Culture and Heritage may or may not have been right in their original choice, but some of the concerns that have been raised about the Pahutakawa tree have been met by changes made to the design, and the concern that it's on a Maori Pa site is just mistaken. So it's not direct concern of ours, but because it's in one of our most loved parks, it's important that we're concerned to once again to lower the tension, accept people's right to protest, but hope that this will be resolved. We've got, obviously, I've been involved, as if other members have increasingly in the government's reform program, various areas, and we are hopeful that changes are made to the Resource Management Act. It's speeding up affordable housing. Will be made to assuage the legitimate concerns about urban design and livability consistent with higher density. And we're keen to resume events and meeting up with people in the restoration of the businesses that have been struggling in our area in particular. So I wish you all a good break. I'm going to have a good break, and we'll see some of you again in the middle of February, hopefully in the flesh. Any questions? Any comments? Any motions?
Yeah, I move that we receive the chairperson's report.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Seconded Adriana. All those in favour say aye. Contrary no. Aye. That's carried. Alex, to speak to your report.